All right, 100%. 100%. Maybe if you guys let me know, can you guys hear me? Is the sound good? Can everybody hear me? Great stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your patience. Thank you for your patience and welcome back to the trading room on a Tuesday afternoon, 10 minutes after 2. We just had a slight tech issue, but now we are back, right? Hope you guys are well. Hope you guys are having a good week so far. Welcome to the trading room, brought to you by TD Markets and TD Markets Academy. I'm riding solo on this one. On Thursday, my brother Ash is going to be back with the CPI this coming Thursday at 2 p.m. Last week we had NFP. There was a good one. The markets moved, but the move took a bit of time, right? If you look at your Euro USD right now, where we entered that position, the market moved up. Hope you guys enjoyed. So do catch us back again on Thursday on the CPI, as we'll be looking at the US inflation data. All right. And yeah, just before we get started, I'm looking at the chat right now. Maybe let me know where you're connecting from. I'm streaming live from our Joburg office. Maybe do let me know where you're connecting from. All right. And while we get that sorted, on the screen right now, if you guys want to open an account with us, tdmarkets.com is the website. Under account types, you will get a whole, or rather a list of accounts that we have for you guys, right? If you guys want some information or require some information, you can send us an email to care@tdmarkets.com. All right. Standard procedure with every live stream we do, we take you through the website. It's a very simple one that you can navigate. And yeah, under account types, that is where you find our accounts, right? And absolutely, for assistance, please do contact us at care@tdmarkets.com, right? We also have education for you guys. All you need is an account. Have funds in your account, and then you will be able to attend our in-house education, right? From the morning, or rather it runs throughout the day, from the morning to the evening, right? We've got different levels. We've got the beginner level, the intermediary, and the advanced level, right? All you need is send us an email to care@tdmarkets.com, and then we will get you sorted. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, I think let's get the session started. It is a Tuesday. We don't have any fundamentals today, so we are going to focus on pure technicals, right? We're going to focus on pure technicals. Everything is on the chat. The link is on the chat right now. So yeah, so let's get right with it. All right. So let's see what's going to happen, guys. As always, if you guys are looking at anything you want us to talk about, maybe just pop it on the chat. I've got some cryptos I want to discuss with you guys. Like I always say, don't miss the opportunity on the cryptos, right? I've lined up a few cryptos that I want us to talk about, right? Last time we spoke about Bitcoin, Ethereum. I think we went over Cardano, Solana, Dogecoin. So we're gonna go over them again and look at some updates, right? But if there's anything that you guys want us to have a look at, please type it on the chat. All right. So yeah, guys, so like I said, don't miss the opportunity on the cryptos, all right? Cryptos are moving, Bitcoin is moving, Ethereum is about to move. You've got Solana that is moving. We spoke about Solana, that we are bullish on Solana. You've got Solana that is moving. You've got Cardano that is moving. You've got Dogecoin that is moving. My goodness, there's a lot of opportunities on the crypto. So maybe let's start with that. Right? Also, maybe to take you guys through, okay, no, we'll reserve that for some other time. All right. So yeah, guys, same things, right? Same things. Nothing has changed. We remain bullish on the cryptos. Right? All we're gonna just update is the, the price movements that we get in between. Remember, institutions continue to hold crypto, right? Specifically, institutions continue to buy Bitcoin and hold it in their reserve, right? You've got Ethereum also. You've got the Ethereum treasury. We've got the Bitcoin treasury. We've got the Dogecoin treasury as well. So these are just entities that are buying, they're accumulating these assets, and they are holding them, right? They are holding them in their reserve. So what this means is that institutions are not focused on taking advantage of small movements, right? They're not focused on that, right? They're looking at the bigger picture, because crypto is a whole different ball game. It's unlike your traditional FX or trading currencies. It's a whole different ball game, right? Remember, crypto is not regulated, right? It's not regulated. It doesn't have a central authority. So it runs on a network, right? So things that affect crypto, it could be your regulation that affect crypto, it could be technology that affect crypto. So one of the questions I got in this morning's opening bell is, does Bitcoin react to the dollar news releases, like your news events, your NFPs, your CPI, your GDPs? Does crypto or Bitcoin react to that? And the answer was no, right? What affects the crypto is not your traditional FX news releases that are released every week, every month, right? It's a whole different ball game. Regulations, that is what affects the crypto, right? Interest rates can also affect Bitcoin, but over and above, everything, just your regulation, your technology, your treasuries, market cap also affects crypto, and so forth and so on, right? So it's a different ball game. So with most of these cryptos, right, you look at your altcoins, you look at your meme coins, we remain bullish. You've got Bitcoin that is about to move. We spoke about Bitcoin. Looking at the current price action right now, it's about to move, right? So the possibilities here is there's always a possibility that the price might still come back to this low. But looking at the overall structure, right? Let me just remove that. Looking at the overall structure, Bitcoin is still bullish. Institutions are looking at the bigger picture. They are not interested in selling. You will never see an article where a strategy or a matter or a bullish are busy selling Bitcoins, right? Unless something drastically happens. But you'll never see any article saying that these big entities are selling Bitcoin or are selling the cryptos. They are always buying and keeping them in their holding. This should teach you something, guys, right? This should teach you something. While your traditional retail trader looking to sell, capitalizing on the small movements, institutions are holding them, right? So that's why you would then get these aggressive movements towards the upside. So you see where Bitcoin is right now. Bitcoin at some point, right, is going to give us a similar reaction to this one here, right? You see how aggressively price pushed up. It's just a matter of time before we get that reaction. So we remain bullish on Bitcoin. Whether you take it on an exchange or you trade it as a CFD, right, on our trading platform, whether you trade it in our exchange platform or on our MT platform, we just remain bullish. All right. In fact, I'm holding fractions of Bitcoin on the exchange, on the TDME, right? More information is coming on that, right? In fact, you can head over to our YouTube. There's a video that is posted speaking about, or there's a video on our crypto exchange, right? Under videos on our YouTube channel. Maybe have a look at that, right? But yeah, I'm holding buys on this one. So yeah, so simple things. Bitcoin, all we're going to update on Bitcoin is such movements. You see how price is moving right now. This is how the market is moving. Overall, it's bullish. But this price action gives us the possibility of the market pushing down one more time before price goes up. But we're not interested in that, right? We just remain bullish. At the same time, another possibility is that we're going to fly from here. So Bitcoin, nothing changes. It remains the same. You also have Ethereum. That is consolidating here, right? Also, Ethereum has outperformed Bitcoin in the recent weeks, right? How it's been moving, it has outperformed Bitcoin in recent weeks. So now there's also Ethereum treasury where entities are interested, or rather there's corporate interest in Ethereum as well. So just like the Bitcoin treasury, you also have Ethereum treasury, where entities buy and hold Ethereum in their reserve for investment strategies, right? And obviously to capitalize financially from this. All right. So with Ethereum, long term we are bullish on Ethereum, right? It's just consolidating at the moment. The overall structure is bullish. There's a possibility that Ethereum might come back down to this low one more time, right? There's a possibility that we could see Ethereum making its push all the way down before it goes up, right? And there's another possibility where we could get that push towards the upside on Ethereum, right? Just a matter of time. We are not interested in any movements to the downside on Ethereum, right? We are looking for this. Remember, the big boys, what are they doing? Every time price action like this happens, every time you see these movements to the downside, right? The big boys are not interested in selling, right? To them, it's not worth it. It's not worth it selling, right? It's not worth it. They're looking for a move towards the upside. So this should definitely teach you something, right? So Ethereum, much like Bitcoin, Ethereum, we are looking for a move towards the upside. It is ranging at the moment. There's a possibility it might break down first before it goes up, maybe to spike some people, some orders in, right? But also there's a possibility that we could get a push towards the upside. You see how it is? So that is basically how we're looking with Ethereum. If you take a look at other altcoins like your Cardano, right? I chose this one specifically because of the market cap. Right? If you take a look at Cardano, it has now started to push, right? It has now started to move. It has given us a higher low here. We spoke about this, I believe it was either this week or last week, that we're looking for a higher low to form. So we're starting to get these higher lows, right? I'm on the weekly time frame. On the daily time frame, this is how it's looking. So where it is right now, we're anticipating it to go back to this high first and ultimately to just continue the bigger structure. But where it is, we're anticipating a push towards the upside. It is now trying to form a channel. It is now trying to form this upward channel like this. There we go, right? Which means this channel gives us the possibility of price pushing back to that top. That's the possibility, right? Looking at how it's moving, it's giving us this possibility. So Cardano, it has started to move. ADA USD, that's Cardano. It has started to move on the weekly time frame. Nice little price action on the weekly time frame. The market is bouncing from that 61.8, and from here on, we're anticipating price to continue moving higher. You look at Solana as well. Solana is gone. It's gone. There's where the market is. There's nothing you can do there, unless on the lower time frames or at some point it gives us a correction and then a continuation towards the upside. So meaning it gives us a continuation pattern, right? Something similar to this, right? This was a continuation pattern. You've got a continuation pattern here, another one here. So if it continues to give us these continuation patterns, then this is definitely opportunity. So you guys can see that there's a lot of opportunity on the crypto, right? Like I've always been saying, do not miss out. The cryptos, do not miss out. Do not miss out. All right. So we're anticipating Solana to hit around 260. Yeah, 262 right there. At the moment, it's on 217. We're anticipating it to push up to reach 260, 263 around there. So this is the move we are anticipating, right? We're not interested in any movements towards the downside. There's a possibility we could get a correction before we go up, right? There's a possibility we could get a correction, something similar to this, something similar to this. All right. And then you've got your XRP, you've got your Dogecoin, which you can look at a little bit later on. I'm looking at the chat right now. I can see some currency pairs. Yeah, you guys are not looking at the crypto. Yeah, you guys are missing out. Hey, you are missing out. GBP, Swiss, Nasdaq. GBP Swiss remains bearish. There's a possibility it could go up one more time, right? So with this one, overall, the bigger structure remains bearish. However, there's a possibility we could get one more push up because of this, right? So this structure here gives us this possibility. We just need to wait for proper confirmation of this. So we could see price go up one more time before it drops. But at the same time, since the major structure is bearish, right, we could still get the market moving to this low. So we've got this lower low here, and then we've got a lower high here. So there's a cycle that's forming, right? This cycle is not done. So while price is trading within the last wave of the cycle, there's a possibility this last wave could push price up one more time before it resumes that last wave. At the same time, it could still come back down here. I'm showing you these possibilities because of this piece of price action, right? It is not always like this, but usually when price moves like this and then it forms a higher low, right? You will see price going back to that high here. You'd see price going back to that high. We are actually monitoring this, right? We are monitoring this. We've got this resistance drawn. We want to see price breaking above the resistance, breaking above the trend line before we can engage in this move, right? So we want to see a break of this. If price fails to break the resistance, it might bounce and then give us a push towards the downside. So all we're looking for is a higher low. We're looking for a higher low. We're looking for a break of these things before we can engage this towards the upside. You see how it is. So yeah, so in terms of the bigger cycle and structure, nothing has changed on this one, right? Nothing has changed. We just need to monitor it, and we'll come back with updates. Actually, come back with updates. If you look at Nasdaq, Nasdaq is going up to that previous high. Yeah, it's going up to this previous high, right? So with this one, there's pretty much nothing to do on this one because the cycle is about to complete, right? So this move that we see right now, it is about to complete the cycle and reach that top, right? It's about to complete the cycle and reach this top. So this is just the range. This is what's left now. This is what's left. Once the market reaches that high, once the market reaches this high, then you've got these two possibilities. We've got these two possibilities. But for now, it first needs to complete this move up. And then from there, we'll come back, right? Because you've got this possibility, you've got this possibility. We'll see which one the market gives us. So that is how Nasdaq is looking, right? So GBP Swiss, we've got those possibilities. Nasdaq, you've got these possibilities. And then we've got GBP USD, USD CAD. GBP USD, nothing has changed. We are still bullish on this one, right? Nothing has changed. It has gone back to this high now. It has gone back to this high. The move we spoke about on GBP USD is this move to the upside. Right? So now this move to the upside, you see where the market is now. You see where the market is. This move is done because of this correction. There was a corrective pattern here. So this move is done. So where the market is right now, all right, we have this possibility. We also have this possibility where the market is right now. But should price break towards the upside, then we are looking at price doing this, right? Let me just do this. If price breaks towards the upside, then we are looking at a continuation back to that high there. You see how it is. So GBP USD is still the same. you guys will notice that these movements we spoke about, right? These movements we spoke about, guys, you will notice that it's the same direction, right? Nothing has changed. So if you've been following them, you'll see that the market is moving in the direction we spoke about. All right. So like GBP USD from these lows, we said price is going up, right? It came back down one more time to expand the pattern, but it's pushing up. So where it is right now, right, should it break above this resistance, then we are going up back to that high, should it break. But if it reverses, right, it might give us this possibility if it reverses. So it's just a matter of time. We're just gonna wait to see how price is gonna react around that area. All right. So GBP USD, nothing has changed on this one. If you look at your USD CAD, let me just remove this. If you take a look at USD CAD has gone up and it's rejecting the 61.8, it's rejecting this zone. Right? After that massive push down, it is going up, it is rejecting this area. Now, the outlook here is, should we get a lower high here, then we're coming back to this low. Should we get a lower high, we're coming back to this low. At the moment, it is struggling to push above that 61.8, right? Should we get a lower high, we're going to come back down to this low, right? Which is going to be a nice move. So at the moment, we are keeping an eye here. This is the daily time frame. We've got this daily candle, right? So we're going to wait for this daily candle to see how it closes, and then we'll take it from there. But we want the daily candle not to close above this zone, right? We want this daily candle to reject this zone so that we can get that push to the downside. All right. So that is the USD CAD. Should we get a lower high, we are coming back to this low. Should we get a lower high? And then from there, we'll then talk about it once it reaches this zone. We'll then talk about it. So that is USD CAD. All right. Let me just look at the chart. We've got Euro USD. Euro USD is now completing the impulse. All right. It has broken towards the upside. It is just reacting to the zone. Let me do this. So Euro USD at the moment, right? It is reacting on the zone now. Yeah, there we go. So this reaction here, it's on the zone. So you see now, there's a possibility that this might form a double top here, right? This price action right now, it is giving us this possibility that it might form a double top. If it forms a double top, depending on what price is going to do, if it forms a double top, then definitely we are going to get a push towards the downside if it forms a double top. All right. So this is the possibility we are getting. But now what if it breaks past this zone? Because we still have this, what is a resistance, might becoming a support. You see that? We still have this. So now if it respects this, then we are pushing towards the upside up until that zone. All right. You will notice that ultimately the structure is still bullish. Ultimately, right? Everything remains bullish. And so if everything is bullish, we're anticipating price to go all the way up to this high there, right? So this move, we would anticipate it to push all the way up to that high because it's a cycle. There's a cycle here. So what is forming right now, it's just structure, right? Should this form a correction, we're gonna go back and complete this day. At the moment, it is just reacting. It is just reacting on the structure. Right? So let's see. You see where the market is. Let's see if price is gonna break towards the downside or not, right? It is just in between these two zones at the moment. Overall, it's bullish, but now if it rejects this resistance, it breaks past this support, then we're looking at this possibility, here. That's basically how Euro USD is looking. It's looking. All right. So this one just needs a bit of patience, I've gone through Euro USD, GBP USD, NZD USD. Let's look at NZD USD. So NZD USD, this is what we can see, right? On the daily time frame, the market has broken this structure. Right? Let me maybe do this. The market has broken this structure. So what does it mean? It means that this structure and this price action gives us the possibility of price coming back down one more time. It's giving us this possibility. All right. So if I was looking for a trade here, I would first anticipate price to push back down here. This would be a nice trade, right? So at any point, anywhere just around this zone, at any point, we can see price coming back down here, simply because we are looking at a break and retest. The market broke this. There could be a retest of this, all right, before the market pushes towards the upside. So that is how NZD USD is looking, right? One more push down, and then we'll come back and talk about NZD USD once it has reached this zone. Once it has reached that zone, right? So just apply your strategy to see where the entry is. But I see one more push down. It could be from current levels, or it could be from this high, right? It could be from current levels, or we might see price first doing this and then coming back down here first, right? So at any point there. So yeah, one more push towards the downside, NZD USD. All right. Euro AUD, we're still bearish. Let me see where it is right now. It fell. The last time I looked at it, it was dropping. Let me see where it is now. There we go. So Euro AUD, remember we spoke about this move down, right? All the way down here. So what is happening right now on the daily time frame, the daily candle is trading below the structure, right? So now what we want is the daily closure below that structure so that we can get this possibility, right? From the top, we've been looking for this move. So now with what's happening currently, right? The daily time frame, the daily candle closes below, then we know we still have this possibility of price pushing back down to this low, right? This is what we're keeping an eye on. Simple one, right? So on the lower time frames, you might get a retest before price goes down, but this is what we're looking for. All right. So there is AUD or Euro AUD, right? We're looking for one more push down. EuroCAD, there's nothing on EuroCAD. Yeah, EuroCAD, it's still pushing up. There's nothing here. The previous cycle is done, right? This previous cycle is done. You see where the market is right now. So where the market is at the moment, looking at this from the daily time frame, there's a possibility price might reject this zone, right? Because of the previous cycle, there's a possibility price might reject. If price rejects this area, then we are going to get this possibility, right? But remember, whenever price reaches the previous high, right? Like in this case, we've got this previous higher high. There are always two possibilities, right? Either price is going to reject, go down, or it's going to continue and go up. That's it, right? If you take a look at the previous example, look what price did here, right? You see the market completed the cycle, and then from there was a possibility price would go up or it go down. Look what happened, it went down. And then again, price went back again. Look at what happened there. Price went back again to the high. Again, there were two possibilities, either this or that. And this time around, what did you get? You got that push towards the upside, right? So where the market is, there's also this possibility or this possibility. We just need to wait for enough, technical reasons or confirmations on either this price or this move or that move. We just need to wait a little bit, right? But this is how it's looking. So EuroCAD, there's nothing here. There's nothing there. If you take a look at USD/JPY, it's going back to the low, right? USD/JPY, it's coming back to this low now, to this low, right? We spoke about this the last time I was with you guys. We got a rejection, right? And then this rejection was just completing the structure. So at the moment, this move that's going down, right? It is the last wave of this structure, right? So this move that's going down, right? It is the last wave of this formation. So for this wave to complete, price needs to come back to this low. And once it reaches this low, then this structure would be done, would be complete. You see how it is? So yeah, so USD/JPY, just one more push back down to that low. Yeah, one more push back down to that low. So we went over Euro/USD. We just spoke about Euro/USD. Gold, there's nothing on gold. There's absolutely nothing on gold. There's nothing on gold. It completed the previous cycle. Remember, we've been bullish on gold, right? It completed the previous cycle, and then it just broke past the previous high, right? That means the cycle is done. Now, where it is right now, there's nothing to do except waiting for price to correct, right? Before we can engage. So the next move we see forming, is a move similar to this one. It's a move similar to this one. The next move we see forming, right? It's a move similar to that one there. So we are just waiting for it to form. Just waiting for it to form. Something like this. Something like this. And then we'll come back and talk about gold once we get something like this. So at the moment, there's nothing. There's nothing on gold. It's just pushing up aggressively. Pushing up aggressively, there's pretty much nothing. So we're just waiting for a correction to form. So let's speak about gold once we have this correction. Here. Let's speak about gold, because this correction is going to give us one more push up, and then this is going to be done. So in terms of this formation from this low, we need one more push down and one more push up for this whole move to complete, right? It is an actual structure. This is an impulse. So at the moment, yeah, there's nothing happening on gold at the moment. If you look at silver, maybe let me quickly go to silver. If you look at silver also, there's nothing on silver. You see how aggressively it's pushing up. There's nothing on silver. If you go to the 4-hour and the 1-hour time frame, right, this is what price is doing at the moment here. So now with something like this, you are looking at this high. All right, let me just draw a structure. You're looking at the structure there. So now the thought process here is that should silver reject this top, because remember, there are two possibilities, right? Either it's going to go up or it's going to go down. here once it reaches that high. So now, should silver reject this top, then we could see silver short term coming back down to this low, short term. So this would be an opportunity for shorter time frame traders, right? Should it bounce from that. At the moment, it's going down. It's showing a bit of a bounce. So on your M15 time frame, we could possibly come back down to this low, right? We could possibly come back down to this low. So yeah, so we'll just have to wait and see. But if it rejects, then we could come back down to this low. Let's see, right? It just needs to give us a downtrend. So we have a lower high here. We need another lower high, right? So maybe price corrects a lower high down, another lower high, price corrects down. So if it continues to give us these corrections, it will, there's a likelihood that it's going to come back down to this low. You see these corrections. So we just need this downtrend. So we've got this lower high here. This lower high right there, right? Let's see if price is going to break past that. But yeah, this is on the lower time frames. On your daily time frame, your 4 hour, there's pretty much nothing that's happening here, right? So we're looking for this possibility. Boom. And then we'll come back and talk about this once it reaches that low. So that is silver. But gold, there's nothing there. There's nothing. Yeah, gold is nothing. EuroCAD 15 minutes. Let's see. EuroCAD on the 15 minutes, it's also coming back from this high, right? It's coming back from that high. So on the 15 minutes, there was a cycle, right? You see how it's rejecting. It's giving us possibilities of it coming back down. So much like silver. So it's giving us possibilities of coming back down to this low, right? So if I was to look for anything here, I would want such price action here. Look at how we broke past the structure. We broke past the structure. We are maintaining the lower high, which is here. We are maintaining the lower highs there. So we've got a lower high there. You've got a lower high, right? So price went down. So at the moment, price is trying to break past the structure there, right? There's a bit of, we've got weeks to the downside, suggesting that there's a bit of pressure, right? So all we want to see now is if price goes up from where it is, we don't want it to break past the previous lower high, which is here. We don't want it to break past the previous lower high, which is there, right? If price goes up, because we have the possibility of price rejecting this low and then going back down, right? But we don't want price to break. So if you see a lower high form somewhere, let me do this. Great stuff. So if you see a lower high form from where price is and there, in between this area, a lower high forms, then you're going to get a continuation down. So there's a possibility that we could retest the structure. You will just have to apply your strategy before we get that move, or we could see a deeper retracement before we go down, a deeper one before we go down. So that is EuroCAD on the M15. Right? A higher probability trade would have been here. A higher probability trade. Why? Because you've got the third test of the trend line. You also combine it with the structure. So price respected the trend line for the third time, and then you've got the break and retest of the structure. So this would have been a good a higher probability setup, right? So where it is now, you're just waiting for a lower low, correction, continuation down, where it is at the moment. All right, but we've got possibilities of this pushing back down to this low. So that is on the M15. On the M15. So ladies and gentlemen, all right, this is how things are looking. A pretty straightforward one, right? While we are preparing for the CPI this coming Thursday, right? We've got these movements with a lot of opportunity. So maybe keep an eye on that, right? This coming Thursday at 2:30, we've got the US CPI, right? It's going to be very interesting. Combining it with the unemployment claims, it's going to be very interesting. Markets are forecasting 2.9 yearly CPI, the core inflation 0.3%. So this 2.9 yearly CPI is going to be interesting, right? Let's see if the market is going to give us a print higher or a print lower, right? So that's on Thursday. Tomorrow you've got the PPI, another inflationary data, the PPI, right, at 2:30. So looking at the forecast, definitely there's going to be some movements there, right? So we will be on YouTube during the CPI. So we're looking forward to that, right? From 2, we will be there. Right? So in the meantime, maybe have a look at these setups, but nothing has changed, right? Nothing has changed. We are looking at the very same direction. All right, cool stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to end it here for today. We'll catch you guys back on Thursday, 2 p.m. All right, my brother Ash will be here. So let's look forward to that, right? Let's see how the market will develop. Have a look at the cryptos, and I'll catch you guys next time. Cheers, everyone.